Seema, how are you? Are you ready?
I'm good. Very good. Yes, I'm ready. I can hear you
Okay, welcome back. How would it go? All right, Seema, please introduce yourself.
for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to talk to your audience and welcome audience for this wonderful topic of how you can become a life coach. I'm a life coach since 2018 and now I'm helping life coaches create their high ticket business, how they can become premium coaches. So there are three kinds of people who can take the benefit of this framework is people who first time who want to become a life coach. They don't know anything about it. Second, those who are life coaches, but they are not making. So these two categories majorly I am catering to. And the third is self-transformation. I don't want to become a life coach, but I have some issues in my life and I want help of life coach. So those people also I help them for their personal life.
All right. Thanks a lot, for sharing the introduction with us, with my audience. Let me, pose this question, which is very much important because I have heard about different sort of, different kinds of coaches. When I introduced with you long time back, and that you are a transformation coach. Same like, there are different, kind of coaches, and as far above, just stumbled upon other people's introduction, or you can say, did meet with different sort of coaches, like business coach and self-esteem coach, and then coaches. I mean, like, you can just name it. There are a lot. So, what do you think? There should be a requirement of a specific qualification as per needed for different field to choose to select, or it's in general. So, if you can guide my
Application,
audience
it is
from
based
where to
on,
start.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So life coaching is a very broad term. Under that heading, that big heading, like you have engineering and medical, under that heading, different categories come. These are the sub niches, or you can say subcategories. Now, how do you choose this category? The first answer to this is identify who you are, what you want to do, what problem you want to cater to in the society. Suppose you don't love money, you don't love business, you don't have those challenges already you have dealt with, then it doesn't make sense for somebody to go to a business coaching or become a business coach. If you have some story where few years before your self-esteem was low and somehow somebody helped you, you did somebody's program, somehow it is not necessary that you have hired a coach, but your life has given you the insight about how self-esteem, increasing your self-esteem has changed your life by changing your internal world. Then you can call yourself as I am a self-esteem coach. So these coaches, they basically they teach you, they preach you, or whatever they help you in a area what they have already got success. Something that I have done in my life. It can be tiniest of the problem, but something which I could solve myself by taking somebody's help or without taking help. So I was at point A. I have come to point B. Obviously, I'm talking about B being the better point than A. So maybe you became a public speaker, something. So you were lacking something, you achieved something in your life, that becomes your niche. And then you give a name that this is what I do. So it has to completely come from your own life story, beliefs, and experiences because otherwise you will not be able to do the justice when you are doing it. Officially, technically, certificate wise, there is no restriction. Anybody can become anybody, any coach.
Okay. But if I just, I would ask my question again. Academically, any qualification required for such coaches is because if I just ask you, like a psychotherapist and psychologist, I think they will have to, achieve a sort of certification or degree.
Yes,
And
yes.
after, please elaborate that.
Yeah. So academic qualification, if you ask me, no, it is not mandatory that you need to have academic qualification as a life coach. Because what you do as a life coach, you are not telling them that I'm a psychologist. Someone who can help you get unstuck in your life. It can be your grandmother, grandfather, they were your life coaches. It can be a small kid, can be your life coach, somebody who has added value to your life. So practically speaking, you don't need any qualification. Whatever qualification you have, it can be in master, in science, commerce, arts, whatever you have done, and you can start doing life coaches. But after talking to like thousands of coaches so far, I have realized one thing: some people don't feel confident enough to face without any certification. So for them, I will advise you do some small certificate for only for your satisfaction. And there are a lot of certificates available. But certificate is a totally different journey, and actually adding value to somebody's life is totally a different journey. You cannot match them together. It doesn't happen that I have these high qualifications and then I can add value. And if I don't have a single certificate, I cannot add somebody's value in somebody's life. No, you can still do it. It's don't consider that. My definition of good life coach is you empower people wherever you go, whether they pay you, don't pay you, just your presence. Your thoughts are very different. People get inspired by what you're saying. You're giving the shot to their brain. Oh, she's making some sense. He is talking something very different, which makes me think a lot, which makes me realize something in my life. Then you are a good life coach. That is what I feel.
Academically, you just mentioned that okay, there is no such requirement. As I mentioned, like for a psychotherapist, psychologist, still you saying that for psychology, I think that they'll have to do some degree in that.
Psychology, see, life coaches are not necessary, they are psychologists.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a psychology background. I am not a psychologist. I am not a
Mm-hmm.
psychotherapist. I am not nothing. I don't have that academic. Practically, can you add value?
Mm-hmm.
See, you are into the world of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And since when you are dealing with emotions? When you are born, since that time, you are with human beings. You have gone through different phases of your life: good, bad, sad, happy. So you are already into the swimming pool. You don't have to actually learn the swimming in the textbooks.
Okay. All right. As being a coach, I've watched one movie and there was a coach uh, and he had to, go to certain that level where he had to create a sort of a relationship in that movie. Like there was a patient, a client, and the coach. Whereas he was thinking that just rather for a short session, it's not enough. What do you think? A good relationship is also required, maybe for good
Absolutely.
coaching. Hmm.
Absolutely. See, first of all, it has power to help everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody needs it. But whether they want it is a different question.
Hmm.
Every human being on the planet needs life coaching from somebody.
Hmm.
But whether they want it, and that want will decide whether this person will get results or not. And that is the eligibility as a client, as a student, as a mentee, right?
Hmm.
So that person has to have trust coach, a respect for a life coach. When
Hmm.
they hire, I know I have heard these stories. This has not happened with me, but I have heard these stories of life coaches. They sharing, people treat us like service providers. You
Hmm.
didn't do this, you didn't do this. This is a very damaged relationship between a coach and a coachee. It's
Hmm.
very much like teacher and a student, but there is a huge difference between what teacher does and what life coaches do, that I will talk about it later. But it should be that kind of a relationship.
Hmm.
You are my life coach, Kiran, today. And I paid you today and I signed up for your program. And tomorrow I expect you to do a lot of things for me. And I don't do anything. My life is not going to change. And I cannot say I paid you, then why my life is not changing? It's totally a wrong state of mind. So it is a 50-50 contribution from both of them. Life coaches also have to be very good in their job. And the
Hmm.
client also very, very important. If that trust is not there, if that connection is not there, If the client does not feel that this person does not understand me, my coach does not understand me, I often give this hint to my clients. I tell them, the moment your lead, the prospect, before paying you, when you're talking to them, the moment he says that, oh, you exactly, you understood my problem, you're going good. And the moment your client, what I'm saying, you have lost the game. And that's because of the, that happens, that positive success happens only when you have a great relationship. How the great relationship is built? If I understand your problems, keeping myself in your shoes, then the relationship will be nourished. If you share something and I say, what a big deal, it is not a big problem, why are you crying for this? I don't show any empathy to your problem, because pain is pain. What is created important? You have
Say
fear
you.
is important.
Okay. If I say you that, okay, as a coach, of course, empathy element is very much important. Like, without empathy, we can't, go further. But as a coach, is it important that you have to show your client, your patients, that this problem we also suffered with, and we also been through with this, sort of problem, and we experienced the same pain, the same problem, the same issue, and then we would come up to that level to understand the client's problem, the client's issue, or empathy is then and there, or what do you think that the other elements would be also a plus point for a coach to understand the client thoroughly, and to let him speak up, to let him open more, that he is, to he has come to any coach, but some sort of things like, he would feel shy, he's not going to be open up too much, maybe he would feel that, okay, whatever the things are, I'm not going to be opening up with the coaches, because maybe which sort of, thoughts he would just, bring up in his mind, and oh, I'm like the ways how to be more open and for understanding, for empathy. What would you say?
Rule number one for this is, how do you make the other person comfortable and open? So the rule number one for a coach is, you have to be 0% judgmental, zero judgment. When you sit in front of the client or any human being, you should be like, I don't know what society says. I don't know what society norms are. I don't know what myths are. I don't know what right is. I don't know what wrong is. And I'm talking to you. When I keep everything which is there in my mind, according to me, what is right and what is wrong, if I keep everything aside and I talk to you and I try to enter into your world, it is zero judgment. This is where it is not only through words that I have to tell you that, see, words don't create any impact when you don't mean it. If I'm judgmental and I say that I am zero judgment person, you can say anything, people will not open up. You don't say anything, but you just be judgment free. They will start opening. So, zero judgment. And second rule is zero assumption. Don't assume anything. Suppose you say that, I got angry. You're telling something. And this is because my relationship is broken with somebody, friend, mother, sister, whatever it is. And you are sharing in one life existing now. Okay, I was angry. Now here I will not assume that something that person has done wrong and you are angry. I will only listen what you have said. You said I was angry. Now my next question to you will be, what had happened? What made you angry? Were you hurt or were you angry? So I will do a deep investigation without assuming anything. That, yeah, because of this person is wrong. That is why she's hurt. No, quickly. Your job as a coach is zero judgment, zero assumption, and ask right questions at the right time. Then they will be free. Everybody would want to share their life story, their pains to other person who is coming with zero judgment. Zero judgment is, I know you, I understand you. I know how it feels, right? And judgment is, what you have done is wrong. Society says what you have done is wrong.
like, as a coach, let's suppose you're dealing with patient, and every time, maybe all other problems, our own issues, we keep it aside. We always have to be more presentable, put a smile on our face, and be cheerful. And maybe, when people, they would come up with different issues, different problems. Do you think that it also has a bad impact on the coach as well, on his level of understanding? How do they deal with it? Like, what could be more sort of reaction as a coach on himself, that okay, whatever the case is, but I have to be there because my patient is there. If I have and again, another thing, do you think that, a lot more other times I've been to different sort of doctors, and I saw one doctor, he was not calm and relaxed. He was just sometimes going here and there, and I felt, oh my gosh, in his own life, he is not so calm, he's not so presentable, he's just more of the time not dedicated and determined. How would he help me? Because I'm there to ask help. But when I'm
Absolutely.
just seeing somebody is just not even determined, focused, and not calm, what do you think that? What do you expect that? Yeah, he's gonna help us. What would be your thought on that? If you just can share a little bit about from your
Yes,
understanding.
yes. You are absolutely right. This last part
Hmm.
that you, and this person has not lost his weight. I wouldn't have trust, right? I will always, if I go to a beautician and she's not able to maintain herself, she's in a very shabby looks. If I go to an image consultant and her image is not impressive to me, in the first place, I would not feel like buying something from her programs. I will not buy her. So
Hmm.
these people will not become their clients. So because that credibility and trust is not built. Minute correction. So when it is a psychotherapy, psychiatrist, and neurologist and all, they may be calling their people, their mentees, their patients. But in life coaching, people coming to life coaches, they can be very successful people. So they're not patients. They just want to make their life very beautiful and lot better than what it is today. So life coaching is very progressive. I'm happy now. I'm successful now. But better, tenfold more great in shortest period of time. So this is the right space of coaching. So coaches are not, coaching mentees are not patients. We don't use the word patients. Third is you asked ki there are challenges in everybody's life as a life coach also. How do they keep that smiling face all the time? So the answer to this, it is very important that you are very different. You have biggest of the biggest coach on the planet, you will have challenges. And that is why life is so beautiful. So challenges are there. Now, my question to life coaches or my in my coach trainings, I tell them that situation should not happen that you are going through a tough phase and you have to wear a mask. No, you don't have to wear a mask. How it is going to happen? You're sad, but you're coming to your lead client or some mask, but still you're happy. So how do you become that person? And that journey itself is giving you the credibility and authority to coach people. I have challenges in my life, but the way I am dealing with my challenges and the way you, without having any life coaching background, you deal with your challenges, it is totally different. I face my challenges with smile face. It takes a big problem to shake me. It is not this small coach. I am few steps ahead than you. I cannot cry for such a small thing. It's a small thing for me. That is one. So how do you become that person? How do you carry that identity? It is a very deep work I'm talking about. And that happens when you love your work, when you are absolutely crazily passionate about what you do. And the next step of this is, it has happened many times. In my life, I am going through a lot of challenges. Before meeting, I might have banged my head on the wall. Yes. But when I come to you, I'm completely totally a different person. I completely gel with your problems. I forget. And it's not about me getting irritated on you. For me, it is like when I'm talking to these people, when I'm doing my work with somebody, I'm helping them in their life, I'm forgetting all my problems in my life. It is actually that 1 hour you have saved me. Instead of me crying there about your life, you have distracted me. And maybe in that conversation, I'm charged up, I'm motivated. So I feel that if you're loving your work as a life coach, all these sessions in your tough moments, tough time in your challenges in your life, these sessions that you're taking with people or randomly go and start helping people, it will recharge you. It will make you overcome your challenges more effectively, easily. And that has been one-on-one sessions with people, discovery calls. I feel like if 2 days I'm not doing it, I feel like I'm demotivated. And it doesn't matter how many challenges I'm dealing with. If this is happening, it keeps me alive. It keeps me motivated. So this is actually the energy is coming from these sessions. I would say that way in my tough times.
Mm. And I
It's not
think
an
that, yeah,
energy drainer, it is an energy giver.
yeah, and I think that passion is very much important. Whatever you do, I think you do with passion. So I mean, like nobody can stop you, and then you can reach up to that level. You would get achievement, I believe so. Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Okay, what do you think that as a coach, there should be a sort of ethical consideration should keep in mind as a coach that okay, those are the ethics. I shouldn't cross my limits or my boundaries, or
Yeah,
maybe rather you can say go more interference in the sort of
yeah,
that case, or stay away. So limitations, boundaries, if you can just explain a bit about
yeah. Confidentiality.
that.
Yeah, number one is confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
Let people share anything. It should not go, I mean, you hear from here and you forget it. Confidentiality is one. Second, if you want to share the story, which is helpful to the other person, you can share the story by changing the name, random,
Mm-hmm.
because with whom it has happened is not important. How it has happened and how the solution is very important. So I may tweak the story, but I will convey the message. Message is very important. Suppose I want to tell you that Kiran, what you're thinking is wrong. I cannot tell you directly. I don't have that authority over your life. Okay. Then what I can do is I can share you some story related to what you're talking about today. I'll
Mm-hmm.
tweak a story bit, a little bit, and I'll share. So confidentiality is mentioned, is maintained, and you are getting the message that I want to convey. Second is do not um, uh, suggest and advise people. Kiran, go and do this. I can never do that. I can ask you, Kiran, in today's situation, what are the different ways you can handle this situation? Then Kiran will give me one, two, three, four. Next question. Let's look at one. Out of four, out of these four, which you think is easy and the best for you? Then come to the one. Then tell me what are the pros and what are the cons. These are the pros, these are the cons. Then are you okay with the cons? No, no, Seema, I cannot come to the second one. So final decision maker is you. I cannot go and tell you go and hug your mother-in-law and stop the fight. I cannot say that. I'll just ask you the question. So here I am not interfering. I'm just asking you. You are the one who is going to take the decision in your life. And any decision you take, whatever happens, I am the backing support me. That time some different situation will come. But then my job is rather than job is to focus on, okay, you did the wrong decision, no problem. Now how can we make it better? How can we improve? Right? Let's work on it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how we can follow this thing, confidentiality. Second is not giving you any suggestions and advices.
Okay. Uh, like suppose mentee has come now. I'm changing my terminology as well. Any mentee is there, and you're seeing that the first session has been done, and you think, okay, maybe in your mind, okay, now this is a case. For this particular case, I would suggest or guide for 3 to 4 sessions. But when you're noticing that there is no sort of betterment coming, no positive changes are coming, and effectiveness is just missing out from somewhere, what do you think that, would you tell the mentee not to further carry on with this because there is no positive change, or would you say, no, I think I am not the right coach, maybe you should look, because there are a lot of options. I don't know which way to deal it
Yeah,
because
I'll give you this. Yeah.
hmm,
So for this, what I do and what most coaches are doing is, before you actually enter into any professional relationship with me as a coach and coachee, before you pay me, I give 1 hour session to you for free. I talk to you. I understand the situation. I will only when I'm 100% sure that in next that particular time, with you being a good student, and I know that I have an answer for this and I can take you there, then only I'll offer you a program and I'll give you the quotation. Then you will go ahead. Once you pay me, there is no chance of you not getting success. Maybe your definition of success will change. Maybe, but it will never happen that you hired a good coach in your life. And after say 1 month, 2 months, your life is not changed in any direction for better results, for betterment. It is impossible. It cannot happen. Your life will be definitely minimum 5 to 10 times better than what it was without a coach. 100%. If your choice of the coach is right. If you choose wrong coach, then I can't say anything. But if somebody hires me as a coach, it will never happen that Seema, my life has gone down or my life is stable. I'm the same person. No, that is not going to happen.
Hmm. Okay, two last questions because we are running out of time. First question is like, what sort of potential challenges do you also face as a coach that you say, oh, now this client is so difficult, and somebody recommended me, as like the previous case I'm telling you, I'm mentioning, like it was out of hand of previous coach, and maybe the patient came, or it, from any sources, you heard it that now this is a very difficult patient, but I'm just going to face this because I know, I trust in myself, and whether or not, but I am going to have those challenges, potential challenges, maybe dealing with that mentee, but I'm going to do that. So do you think that there would be sort of potential challenges as
Yes,
well as a
there
coach?
are challenges, there are challenging cases, and now is I think there was a break. Could you hear me
Yeah, yeah,
well?
yeah, I can, I
The
can.
okay. The challenges, the biggest challenge I can see now to answer you is people who are in denial mode. So I'll explain what denial mode is. With their brain, they say, I know this, I know this, I know this. Knowing is totally different. What you're doing is very different. And there
Right.
is a conflict. No, no, Seema, I think positive. No, no, Seema, this is not. I think positive. I trust life. But life is unfair to me. You understand the gap between two sentences.
Yeah.
I trust life, Seema. I'm following everything. I know law of attraction. I know this. But life is always unfair to me. The but makes two opposite statements together.
Yeah.
So when they use this language, it is very difficult for such people to convey them because they are in a denial mode. They don't accept that there is some coaches become helpless.
Mhm.
They are not in the receiving state.
Mhm.
They say that they know everything. They know law of attraction works. They know that how it works. And these are the people, they have got a lot of knowledge. and that knowledge is actually backfiring them. It is much easier for laymen to explain these things, but for coaches it is very difficult. But because in the first place I'm coaching coaches, so that is why I know. In the first place, there are no limiting beliefs within it, because they know in the textbook and in the theory that they have learned it. Learning is different. You know what marriage is in the textbooks, but actually getting into the marriage is a totally different experience. Your textbooks can never, you read hundreds and thousands of books, but actually getting married and your experience will be your one experience out of 1,000 million marriages happening on the planet.
Mm. So what I'm noticing, what I'm thinking,
How can books give justification to it?
what I'm thinking that, when there is a mentee and he or she knows that they're spending money and they're, going to see somebody, a coach. So definitely they'll have to get rid of this, denial sort of state and mode, and will have to accept the change. And for positivity, they're going that, okay, we are going, but we have to unlearn sort of those sort of mentality or sort of thinking through which maybe a sort of I would say a hindrance in there. So I think then they'll have to accept it first, and then they want to change themselves. First they have to keep that sort of
Acceptance is
mentality. Yes, and then they should go further. Last question, then, only 4 minutes. What do you think that, as a coach, could continue to grow and, can further progress in this field? Because some way, somehow, people, they again, like, they get disappointed. I don't know, it will be very difficult to deal with mentees, and I don't know which way to go. I'm not getting clients. The last question, as a professional, as a sort of a, business coaching, that I'm not getting clients. What is wrong with me? I think I am a wrong coach. I think I cannot bring changes in other people's lives. So how do you see, how would you just conclude this with this last question to continue
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
grow?
It is, yeah, yeah. So first of all, eligibility for any layman to become a coach is you need only two things. Do you have intentions to help people? Do you feel like I love being with human beings, spend time with them? I love this roller coaster ride of, pain, happiness, sadness, fight. You love being with human beings. And second is you have intentions to help them. If you have these two things, find the right person to who will, I would suggest there are two types of coaching courses available in the market. One is a group coaching. They give you one certificate programs and you are in a group and you become a coach. And second is one-on-one hand holding. Recommend you to go choose one right coach who is holding your hand and helping you in every difficult situation in a customized way. These three things, you find a right coach. These three things, then you will be a rock star in coaching industry. Your intentions, you love human beings, you love this roller coaster ride of emotions, and third is you have a right coach who is holding your hand, who is successful, who has reached the level that you want to reach, and then you are completely, so that's enough for somebody to become a coach.
Wow. I really, really enjoyed this session after a long time, and I hope this would be helpful for my audience who really want to enter in this field to become coach. And it was amazing. I really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for coming today, Seema Ranaware. May you have more success in your journey, in your become, like, because you're a coach now. So then you bringing difference and change in other people's life. So my wishes to you and for your future endeavors. So thanks a lot for coming, for joining, and hopefully I'm going to invite you some other time as well. So till then, you take good care of yourself, and bye bye.
Sure, sure. I will love to be here, and thank you so much for having me here. It's a great pleasure. Your questions were amazing. If it is, it will be a great pleasure to me if you can send those questions to me, because then I can create something out of it. I really love your questions. They're going to be
That's
very, very helpful to other people who are looking to become a life coach. So
definitely.
one and have abundance of success ahead in this 2020.
Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. Bye bye. You have a
Okay.
lovely
Bye
day.
bye.
Bye.